I was able to make money to the upside as well as the downside today, and I want to show you how you're able to switch bias when it calls for and just read and react to price action in favor of the VWAP, in favor of the short-term trend, so that you're not married to the wrong bias for too long. Looking at the TradeZella here, it was really just 2 trades. I added in on the first one. We went over that one on stream together. A bunch of people making money on that one. That's this long here. If you've seen Futures 2.0, hopefully you have. All you have to do is just go to asfx.tv and you'll see the course Futures 2.0. That's the course that I built based off of the VWAP strategy, where you're going to see the break plays as well as the bounce plays and a whole bunch of other stuff. But if you want access to that, just use code Evan and you'll get 50% off. But that's this trade here. We get a pullback on the 1 minute at the New York Open, but the 15-minute side of things, we'll get into in a little bit, are very bullish this morning. Broken for a new high a day, above the overnight VWAP, so I'm definitely looking for longs today. And this bearish price action might just be that pullback that I want to get involved in the next leg of trend. So I get in on buyers stepping in for the first time, taking over that control, stop loss at low a day. Now the reason the stop loss, for many reasons, has to go at low of day, because we don't know where this higher low, if it's going to hold up bullish, wants to form, right? I would know if it breaks for a new low a day outside this open range low, I don't want to be long, so get me out of that. But as far as I'm concerned, it can come all the way down here, build a higher low, and then get back higher like it did. So you just got to give it the room to breathe and not be fearful that this is going to come lower, because your conviction and your bias is to the upside until you get new information. We're still holding up. It builds that higher low, so this is where I'm saying I was long 3. Once it held as our higher low and got back to my entry price, I added in another contract to bring my risk up just a little bit more. And then you can see, out on the first break of open range high. I know we're very volatile recently, so this could be one of the days where it just does break for the first time and rips. Normally I would advocate don't take the first break outside open range high or low, because it normally doesn't run. Those normally don't sustain and normally wants to pull back, maybe to New York VWAP. And then I'd be looking to take this second break outside. But it was good to still follow my rules today, not get overly excited about the volatility of, I know it's so volatile, it's going to break for the first time and just rip. I followed my plan. I got out a little bit over 1R on the first break of open range high, and happy days. Then I take a break. We look for what's going to happen next. It came all the way back down. So now my exit back here is looking even better, because this is back on NQ actually, but same idea that I got out somewhere up in here and it actually sinks. The buyers just disappeared. So I'm no longer looking for longs. And interestingly enough, if you look at here, the initial balance high was actually up there. It's not drawn there. It hadn't taken out either side of the initial balance, which is the first hour of the day. And I know we probably only break one side, and we probably don't break both sides. We can look at that in edge flow in a second here, but that's really what also drives this. So you can see here, the break of the initial balance low, confirming almost that we're going to be looking for shorts today only, because now we probably don't want a double break. But I'm not chasing at the lowest prices. These aren't really the interesting pullbacks that I want. Very small pullback, very small pullback. I like to see those deeper ones. Buyers take a stance at it, but then sellers ultimately step back in and continue this short-term down move. So as we pull back in and then we get the breakout of initial balance low and a lower day view up, you get a nice little pop there. So not only am I still riding the trend, and I know I want to be a seller back here, it's just too low, too tight of a stop loss. Everyone can see that if you're going to sell it here, your stop loss is probably right there. Let's go stop them all out first and then move without them, right? That's a very dangerous stop loss at that current structure, because you're really just saying, please don't pull back at all. Just keep running and running and running. Although if it did pull back like it did, the shorts still look good. It was just taking out many of those stop losses that are probably there at the structure. Now, how do I get that idea? If you go to Edgeville here, you can see ICT opening retracement. Let's switch the report to initial balance breakout. And again, it's very volatile recently, so the stats are going to be probably not a lot of data of how many times it has occurred, because you can see the size of our initial balance is 1.42%, which just doesn't happen often. So you're not going to really have the strongest data pool to go off of, but I still think it's very valid that if you've seen any of the videos I talk about on Edgeville, the stats that are going to pop up here, the double break, right? There's only a 20% chance. I mean, 1,200 days, what is this filtered to? This is filtered to 5 years. Let's just back it up to the last previous year of data. So in the past year, just standard, no filters, no nothing, all of our initial balances, 51 times, it's happened 51 times, sounds like a lot, but it's only 20% of the time. Let's just sub-report it to the weekday, since today is a Tuesday. And let's see, on Tuesdays in the past year, 32% of the time it double breaks. Not very likely. We've seen even weaker stats of that, but there's really only a 32% chance that we would break this bottom here. This is back on the charts now, that we would break the initial balance low as well as the high. So even more reason not to look for longs, right? I'll turn on the initial balance here and you'll see those are our red lines here. So it's really not likely that we break both sides, so I should really only be looking for that one side to carry. And again, I made plenty of videos about it on I want a bigger pullback, the bigger the better, to see sellers actually take a break and then get ready to come back in, as well as key levels. I need my trade off of a key level. You can see my long back here off of the New York VWAP. There was maybe some longs off the initial or opening range high, but I'm getting in before the pop or where it likely wants to pop from and continue the trend. So you look back out here, the shorts off of initial balance low is what pays. You're still making lower highs today, even over here, but you just retested that initial balance. So now you can feel we just retested a key level. This might be ready to go from here. And now you want to get in short rather than selling it down here, not off a level, right? Imagine if you did sell it off. Let's clear some of these drawings here. Imagine if you did sell it on the initial balance break, you definitely get some run out of it. The first break of initial balance low gives you some run. You can get that same price later on after the second pullback and take it the second time it wants to move away from there. And you can see how much move you get out of it. Even this one, if you go back to NQ, which is the trade I took it on, because it's pretty similar structure, I think just the same thing. Initial balance low is the price that pays. I took it back here when it bounced and took it to the bottom, right? You could even re-anchor a low a day VWAP and get in once sellers clearly keep on defending it. And even if you go with a wide stop up here, you still clearly get lots and lots of drop from it. So I went long in the morning, cashed my money on that, and then you readjust risk and see where we want to come back higher or not. We don't. We're breaking for new lows. Let me just ride this structure. So many times I could want to buy it down here, be saying it's going to flip back bullish. I think a really good lesson we had. We'll take a look at the 15-minute because it does play a huge part in it. The left side here. This is on NQ. So NQ here on the 15-minute actually did look like it wanted to hold this overnight VWAP. And if I scream it out to the left more, clearly very bullish. Into the open, at the open, that's why I find those initial longs, because I'm bullish on this 15-minute. And then we get that big sell-off dump. But right to that overnight VWAP, which is where you see us bounce a little bit. And then obviously we came right back down and we're selling off even stronger now. But that's why I was comfortable not shorting it down here, right? Because you can see that's right at the daily VWAP. It might bounce from there. It tried to, but then it comes right back underneath and sinks the second time. Now the second time, not to be too confusing, but if you go to ES and compare the two, ES is already below it where I just drew those. So ES had been below its overnight VWAP. That bullish bar is more so looking like a retest rather than NQ holding it to come back higher. It's looking like ES is retesting underneath it and could want to continue back down. You pair that with the stat that we went over here from Edgefoot that we probably don't go double break the initial balance and come up here. So I shouldn't really expect, if I clear these drawings off, I shouldn't really expect this to hold here and bounce back for trend continuation because it's just statistically unlikely. We broke the initial balance low. We're selling off hard. ES is underneath its daily. I know NQ is holding it. It may look like a great long opportunity, but what's more likely to happen? That ES holds underneath it and we just keep on sinking, or that NQ does hold it and we go double break, which only happens 20% of the time. And we're holding this initial balance low. So I really just, that's how I pair the two 15 minutes today, but really just keep it simple. You're not getting bullish structure yet, so you should not want to be buy it. You broke for a new low a day underneath the initial balance low. Just read and react to the lower highs and trade the low a day VWAP breaks, right? Even if you take this trade, it may not win instantly, but if you go with the low a day VWAP break, stop loss at previous structure back here, way back here, it may not win instantly, but it doesn't lose. Sellers defend this low a day VWAP nicely a few times for you. And then it finally does pop. Maybe you get your 1R there or even lower and lower. So really clean trend in the afternoon, now cleared to the downside. And maybe you guys are still making money to the downside, but I'm done for the day. I took those two trades, one long, one short, up about 1,100 on the day across my two top one futures accounts. What we can do is even just go in here and lock ourselves out because we are done. So lock myself out all day. Don't want to be trading anymore. Locked out now, so you can see 4 more hours at the end of the session. So I'm done with this account. This is what I love about Top 1 Futures on the Top Step X platform, or on the Top 1 Futures platform, excuse me. You can just lock yourself out. I have my max daily loss rule in place where I can't lose more than $1,200 anyways. Even though they allow me more drawdown, I don't want to use all that drawdown. So if I trade 0 for 2, over for 2.5 of a trade, I would be done for the day because something's up. The chart's not clean. I'm not clean. Something's off. Don't let this bleed into a big red day. So cut me out. And while on the topic of that, on top on futures right now, if you need an account, code Evan's always going to match the best deal that they're offering if you're watching this later on. But as of now, they're running a 50% off sale on all accounts, any size, instant funding, a challenge, no matter what. Code Evan's going to get you 50% off. You can get up to 3 accounts. Any account you do buy is also going to be an automatic entry into a giveaway to win another account and give away 5 to 5 different people on any purchase made with my code between now and April 11th. So you do have until the end of the week. So definitely consider that. Let's keep on trading together through these volatile markets, read and react to the VWAP, read and react to the structure, key levels. I feel like I hone on this day in and day out. It can be very tricky of seeing a nice bullish pop there, but not be sustained, and now we're sinking lower. What the hell do I do with that? Slow it down, revert back to your plan, your key principles almost. Key VWAPs, key levels in the direction of overall trend. If the trend's not clear to me, I'm not touching it until it becomes a little bit more clear. And then even when it is clear, I would still like it off a key level, right? This thing is dropping lower and lower here, and I don't care. I'm done for the day. I capitalized on the earlier trend, and I'm done. I don't need to predict, does this have a little bit more gas in it? I hope so, because I'm going to short it right now. Or does it rally a little bit and then fall later on? I don't care. I'm done. I'm locked out. I found my 2 winners, 3 winners a day. Calling it there. I'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing. So hopefully you guys found value in it. Always feel free to drop a like, leave a comment. What videos would you like to see next? Take advantage of the top 1 futures sale. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.